Good morning or afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on the exciting new feature improvements we have for you for ParityFactory. My name is Juhi John, and I'm the product manager for our manufacturing products, including ParityFactory at Advantive. We are thrilled to have you join us today. Before we dive into the details, going to go over quick what to expect during our session. We will start with a brief introduction, followed by an in-depth demonstration of the new features and enhancements we've made that will be available in our latest feature release, which is 22.1.0. We will also share some best practices on how you can make the most of these improvements. Towards the end, we'll also have a Q&A session where you can ask any questions that you may have, and we'll answer them to the best of our ability. So going to a few housekeeping items before we get started. Today's webinar is being recorded. We will be sharing the recording with you all afterwards. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the Q&A box. We will address them at the Q&A session towards the end. There'll also be a short survey at the end of the webinar. We would love to hear your feedback to help us improve future sessions. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Travis Nelson, who is a solution engineer here at ParityFactory. Travis is excited to walk you through these new features and how they can benefit your business. Sharon will also be here joining us today, posting some useful links and helping with our Q&A session at the end. So she'll be posting some of the questions in her chat and managing those. We also want to take a moment to thank you, our valued customers, for your continued support and your feedback. Your insights have been critical in shaping these improvements through through conversations that we have, and we're looking forward to continuing to hear from you. And we are committed to providing you with the best tools to help you succeed. Without further ado, we can get started. Travis, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Juhi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Travis Nelson, a solutions engineer here at Advantive, and welcome to our presentation on our latest updates to ParityFactory. We're always looking for ways to improve and innovate, and today we're excited to share with you 5 new features that will take our software to the next level. Majority of these features we're going to go through today are designed to increase inventory control, utilizing different features around the best before date, and others on the production planning and inventory adjustments. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So our first feature we're going to talk about allows users to capture the original production date during the receiving process. This feature uses the new lot created date setting on the receipt header. And with this enabled alongside our best before day setting, users will be able to capture the production date and have the system auto-calculate the best before date. For example, some customers have vendors that supply them with product of varying production dates, which impacts the product's shelf life or best before date. Previously, users would manually have to calculate this best before date if the production date was the only information provided by the vendor. Now, with this feature, we can capture the production date, know to parity as the lot created date, and then the system will look at that product master file, best before days field, to calculate the best before date of the lot. To use this feature, we simply enable the lot created date entry option, which can be found on the other info tab at the receipt header, and ensure the product master has the best before days filled in. On mobile, during the receiving process, there'll be a new created lot date field. We simply have to fill out that field, business as usual. And then when we go to review the lot record, we should be able to see the receipt date, the production date, and the best before date. I do want to note that this does not need to be configured with the best before days. It also can be enabled to go with best before date if your vendor happens to provide both the production date and the best before date. So as you'll see here, when we open up this lot, we'll be able to see all 3 of those values. So next, what I would like to go through is another feature that we want to use for validating the remaining shelf life. This feature will be able to be used both on the inbound and outbound side of ParityFactory. This feature uses the newly created fields on the product master, which are called the minimum remaining best before days and minimum remaining delivery delivery by days, excuse me, to ensure there is enough remaining shelf life on the product when being received or shipped. Additionally, this setting can be applied on the vendor level for inbound products if you have a vendor specific product that you're receiving from. In some cases, our customers need to ensure that they're receiving product with enough shelf life to account for their internal processes to prevent spoilage or waste. Or on the other side, they need to ensure for shipping that there's enough shelf life remaining on their products for their customers to use. So to use this feature, we simply set the value of minimum allowed days for shelf life on the product master and ensure the best before date is enabled at the receipt header. Once those two criteria are met, we next receive business as usual. And when entering in that best before date, if the selected date falls outside of the minimum days, we'll get an error saying that we have insufficient shelf life remaining and the transaction is prevented. Similar to the other ParityFactory capture fields, this warning can also, or excuse me, this configuration can also be set as a warning if we still wanted to allow for this product to be received throughout the process. So as we see on the screen here, we're getting a notification saying that this is invalid shelf life. And when we get it to be acceptable, we get the green notification confirming that everything is within range. So our next feature that I wanted to cover kind of ties everything that we just talked about. And this is going to help improve inventory control for our expiring goods. I personally really like this feature because it allows us to place holds on products that are nearing their deliver by dates or their best before dates. Previously, customers would have captured these dates. However, it took someone to review reports, place holds manually, if they wanted to ensure this product was not being shipped or used for production. However, now we're able to set up an expiration hold within the hold master file. And this is going to allow us to choose if we want to use the best before date, the pull by date, or both, and set the tolerance of days. After this has been set, we're able to run the newly created job to place all of the products that meet those defined criteria on hold, therefore preventing the product or to be used in production or shipments. As a note, also, this job can be ran manually, or we can configure it to run on a schedule depending on your current process. After the job has ran, we'll see that all of the products are placed on hold and can be viewed on the active hold screen. Our next feature is going to help us simplifying the production planning with shipments. So this one, even though the last one was great, this one is probably my favorite because I know that a lot of customers are probably going to be very excited to hear about this. This is because this feature enhances our production run from shipments functionality. Previously, when created production runs from our shipment, ParityFactory would plan the output product and leave it up to the user to fill in the ingredients or the input. This made for a clunky process or double entry when a receipt or a BOM may already exist. This new functionality will now look at the units on the shipment and reference against the recipe in ParityFactory, meaning that when planning production for a shipment, the planned ship quantity will now automatically scale the recipe and add both the produce and issue products to the production run. This should drastically reduce the time needed to create or manipulate those production runs if planning from a shipment. To use this feature is fairly simple. We select the shipments needed that we're going to be planning our production runs from. We fill out the header information, select the date, workflow, facility location, and we would press OK. And what we'll see is that the input, again, is grabbing from that recipe, scaled off of those shipped units, again, making for a streamlined planning procedure. So here, going to go over to our production run. We'll navigate into the job. And again, just showing the magic here. Before, if there's anyone that has planned from shipments, please let me know, because this is a great feature here. We'll now see the issue, we can see the ingredients, and on the produce tab, we're able to see the planned units. So for full circle there. Great. And then on to our next feature and our last feature. This is a smaller one in regards to adjustments. So what this last feature allows us to do is to edit mixed containers in the lot adjustment screen. So now when editing the values, the system will account for what the product type is, whether that's going to be single unit, multi-unit, random, or uniform. And then it only allows you to edit the applicable fields. This is going to save us time in having to split inventory off using a build before having to do any of those adjustments. To use this feature, simply navigate to the adjustment screen, navigate to the lot we're looking to adjust. When we go down to the product rows, as you can see, depending on the product configuration, we're only allowed to edit the applicable fields, whether it was fill and units, or in the bottom rows case, only units. And from there, again, ensuring data accuracy. So quickly, that was our 5 features that we wanted to run through today. I really appreciate your guys' time, and I did want to open it up for any questions that you may have on these new features shown.
Okay, we currently don't have any questions that have come in. So if we don't have any, then obviously we can wrap up for the day. But before we do wrap up, I'm going to send via chat to everyone. It is a link to the survey. We ask that you guys do take the survey. Let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see, or anything that you think could improve these live webinars for you. We'd love to hear it, and we'd love to get your feedback so we can continue to provide you with the support that you need. So everyone should have gotten the survey. And obviously this was recorded. We will send out a recording in the next day or two to everyone who did register for the webinar. Julie, anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Yes, I do want to say, again, a lot of these things come from feedback from you, whether you submit that in our AHA portal through the ideas section. If you also have conversations with us or think of anything, please feel free to add those in there. We do review those on a regular basis. So, please feel free to reach out if you think of questions that you didn't have answers to on this call. If you think of something later, please don't hesitate to reach out in the email that will be posted in the chat, or you can also visit the Advantive customer portal. I just want to say thank you all again, and hope you have a great rest of your day.